camera speed. Now, here is a motion picture film.
Good evening, and welcome to Moviedrome Remastered. Tonight's film was first seen by moviegoers in 1988, but it didn't make it to British screens until 1991. Considered by many to be one of the greatest animated films of all time, it is often overlooked by a wider audience who are more interested in singing animals as opposed to teenage biker gangs and end-of-the-world stakes. Tonight's film is Akira. Written and directed by Katsuhiro Otomo, this Japanese animation, or anime, is a grand epic in scale and scope based on Otomo's own manga comic book series. The film runs just over 2 hours, whereas Otomo's manga is over 2,000 pages and is a mammoth narrative. Therefore, the film is a very condensed version of the narrative that can be found in the manga. It must be said then that the two exist somewhat separately, in a very similar relationship to that exists between the film and the novel of 2001: A Space Odyssey. It can be said that Akira did for animation what 2001 did for science fiction. Set in the year 2019, Akira tells the story of riots and rebellion on the streets of post-apocalyptic Neo-Tokyo. There, a teenage biker gang led by Kaneda become embroiled in a conflict with another biker gang known as the Clowns. When Kaneda's friend Tetsuo is injured in a crash, it awakens latent psychic abilities that could spell the end for humanity. The film is both visually stunning and narratively challenging. For a standard animated film of 24 frames per second, animators usually animate on twos, which mean they do 12 drawings which appear on screen twice as long as a standard frame in a live-action film. However, for Akira, the animators chose to animate on ones, meaning 24 separate different drawings for every 1 second of film, which explains the gorgeous fluidity of motion that you can see in the film and the over 160,000 cells required to achieve it. The film was a massive undertaking for everyone involved. Dialogue was recorded prior to animation, which was a new technique in anime for the time, and in order to budget the film, corporations from across Japan grouped together to find the 1,100,000,000 yen required to finance the project, including Bandai and the Laserdisc Foundation. Computers were used to map the direction of certain objects and provide some small effects, but for the vast majority of the film, nearly everything is hand-drawn with painstaking detail, and I have never seen a film, both live-action or animated, with such attention to detail throughout the entire runtime. The look of the film is only half of the reason that Akira is such a breathtaking movie experience. The film feels far longer than its 2-hour runtime, not because of a slow pace, it barely lets up throughout, but because of the heavy concepts it deals with throughout. Government corruption, the rule of law, riots and police states are all questioned throughout the film, but they pale in comparison to the big questions. Those are the future of mankind, destiny and evolution that play a core part in the film's plot. Watching anime as a Western audience will always lead to the debate as to whether to watch with subtitles or to watch a dubbed version. Die-hard fans will tell you that to watch anything other than the subtitled original is a sin. In my opinion, as long as you've got the full experience, as long as you've understood the plot and you've enjoyed the film, then that is all that matters, whether that's with dubbed or subtitles. The first version of Akira that I saw was the 2001 Pioneer dub. Another dub is also available from Streamline, dating back to 1989. As to which dub is best, personally I would say a combination of the two would be ideal. The Streamline version has some great emotional intensity that works very well for some scenes in the film. However, other times it can be a bit silly and the translation isn't the best. The Pioneer dub from 2001 has a far better translation and is done more professionally, but it doesn't sometimes have that emotional intensity that the great drama of Akira sometimes needs. The last 20 minutes of Akira are some of the most intense, mind-bending and shocking moments in film history I have ever seen. I have genuinely never witnessed anything like it before or since. It's not going to be a film for everyone. It does not hold back in its narrative or its visuals. There are some truly shocking images that come towards the end of the film, and it does not hold back at all. Body horror with maximum intensity. Akira is a film that has to be seen to be believed. It is a symphony of sight and sound, and the film that is responsible for opening the floodgates of anime to the Western world, and it is still the pinnacle today. It is a film that is just as relevant now as it was 30 years ago, so here it is for you. It's going to be intense. This is Akira.